Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Jackie Ellis. I am an intuitive guide and mentor, and I'm here today to talk to you about the energies in 2024 and beyond that. What I have noticed and what I have been guided to sit with is how the energy is building. Now, the aether energy we know builds until you find a way off that loop and into a beginning of some sort. Now that loop is Fibonacci. It's a Fibonacci curve. So it will build, it will go from slow to higher, or the other way around. No. My camera's backwards. If you need to look it up, look it up. Basically, what is going on is we are in a transformative period that many call Ascension. Some call it the apocalypse. It depends on your perspective. But that energy is building and it's turning the dial little bit by little bit. The more we react to the energy or the more we grow and expand. So there's a few different, I would say there's like, you could say there's two loops. There's the ones that are like pulling you down and ones that are pulling you up. So it's whether or not you are going up or going down. If you are on an intentional growth journey, you are trying your best to raise your vibrations to a level that is new growth for a new beginning. If you are not intentional in how you are aligning with your own passions in a way that is honorable to yourself, meaning you can walk into your house and look yourself, and you can look yourself in a mirror, wherever that mirror is, and you can face yourself and love yourself for who you are, how you acted, and what you did. What you did. The words you said. Knowing that you were honorable to yourself, honorable to your family, honorable to those that matter to you. Now, getting pulled into other people's drama doesn't always align with that energy where you're able to look yourself in the mirror and say, yeah, I did good. There's a lot of mixed energy that can really pull you down. So that's what we're going to talk about for 2024, because there was 5 cards that I pulled, wanting to know how the year was going to go. What did it kind of look like? Because so far it looks like it's very much a physical unrest. It's uncomfortable. It is tense. It is highly emotional. And the key expressions that I got for 2024 were highly emotional reactions that could be combustible. There was also a desire for change. Now, how people react to that desire for change is passion driven. So choosing how they act in those situations matters to the pathway that they're on and what they chose for their own life. And now everyone's journey is their individual journey, but the collective energies are out there. So if there's a lot of wars going on or civil unrest, then people will feel it, feel that tension, feel that anger, feel that resentment, feel that judgment. And that's what we're feeling right now. Now, is this apocalypse energy or transformation energy? It's perception. And then finally, judgment or grace towards balance. So will people hold judgment towards another, towards themselves? Or will they give themselves the grace to walk towards balance, to strive for more balance within their own individual lives? Trying to understand what brings them balance, what keeps them sure-footed for walking forward. So when we started out the year, we were in Capricorn energy, which means it's a leading energy. It's a leading energy in our physical life. So it is leading actions that lead to a stability or an abundance or sure-footed movement within our physical life for our physical well-being. It helps us lead ourselves forward in some way. Now, the 5 cards. And I'm going to talk about the 5 cards before I get into the numerology for 2024. 5 cards. So there's the 7 of Wands. Now, the 7 of Wands is an individual passion energy. It is an individual fire that you ignite within yourself. This 7 is vibrational energy, which means that for many globally in 2024, they will be seeking to know how to vibrationally light up their life, how to vibrationally align with the passions that they have in their life. Okay? For the most part. They're looking for something that they feel passionate about. That is what the soul is driving them to do, and that's what they're seeking. They're following that. There is the Judgment card came up. And now Judgment card is a transformation, a spiritual transformation of some sort. Is this apocalypse or transformation? Depends on your perspective. So, we're in a Fibonacci curve, like always, for growth and expansion. But it's also, where is that passion that people are feeling a pull towards from a soul level to align with their passions, right? So from a spiritual transformation, that energy is going to pull them towards that transformation. Now, perspective matters. So if people are desiring change within their country, it could lead to civil unrest if they feel passionate enough to go a certain way. If governments react in a specific way, it could create war because they'll be passionate towards that. Where your passion is directed to matters. Is it directed to a goal of peace? Is it directed towards a goal of prosperity for your country, for your individual life? Will the pathway you take towards war or civil unrest get you there? Perspective matters. In the center energy, emotions, 9 of Cups. Emotions will be overflowing this year. We will feel an urge to deeply emotionally connect within a heart space to the goals that we have, to our passions that we discover, so that we know what matters most to us. It's also forgiveness. And it is giving ourselves the grace within our life to forgive ourselves and forgive others for the actions and words that they have expressed, so that we as individuals have the freedom to move forward in the way that aligns vibrationally towards those passions. The Justice card is a physical experience. There will be many, many, many experiences in our physical world, in our physical life. We will feel them. We will feel the energies in the physical, especially if we are ignoring them in our spiritual, in our mental well-being, our emotional well-being, and then they land in the physical. We will feel that. And it'll happen faster than it ever had before. So understanding the flow of energy and being aware of your thoughts and emotions and your soul-driven desires is important. What your soul is telling you, the thoughts that come to mind, the emotions that you feel or that you notice, not dismissing those things will help your physical well-being easier this year. But it'll be faster to go through those than it has before. And we may feel them, the burdens of them on a deeper level, especially if we have not allowed ourselves to get off of another growth cycle that is connected. So the energy builds and builds and builds until we find ourselves able to let go and allow the healing to happen. Now the healing happens when we're able to passionately really light up our life in that one passion, that one passionate resolve for transformation. When we don't, we have carried burdens on our back or in our life. When we light them up, we have healing. And we light the way towards abundance. But it's a choice. It's a choice. So, war and civil unrest. Possible. But I'm going to pull cards on the topics that I brought forth or felt. I felt the urge to talk about war, civil unrest, industry changes and influences, as well as ascension and how to create balance. So let's talk about war and civil unrest right now. And I don't feel like World War III is on an agenda. I feel like governments are going through a lot already that they're not even considering this as a possibility to get themselves involved in. But there is a lot of wars, like individual country wars, as well as civil unrest that's happening. And the card that just fell out was the Four of Pentacles, which means that there's a shift in power. So there was a lot of talk about World War III in previous years. I never got that we were going to get that far, and I feel like that's what's happened. There's a shift in the energy, and it won't happen. Now, people make individual choices. So how governments vote on it will depend on how people are emotionally reacting to the day that they're having. Because highly emotional reactions or combustible reactions, 2024. Passion-driven choices, if they are in amongst that highly emotional reaction, meaning the person has not logically thought through what that means on a long term, setting their emotions aside, they could make a choice that's passion driven while they're in that highly emotional roller coaster of a situation, while they're off balance emotionally. Civil unrest, though. So civil unrest there are people that are making choices and getting involved in amongst civil unrest or igniting it or getting under people's skin if they're a government influence. Because they feel inspired to lead in that direction. But they're doing it purely from a highly emotional reaction. And they could get stung. They could get bit by doing it. So it's understanding that, like, is your chariot that you're on wobbly? Or is it in balance as you're moving forward? That's the choice. So if you're making that choice from a personal level before going into a situation that could lead to civil unrest or a highly chaotic state. Are you doing it sure-footed? It's a choice. It's a choice to know where your feet are planted. What side of the line are they planted? What are your boundaries in that situation? What are your ethical and moral boundaries? Why are you doing this? Why are you making the choice that you're making? And being okay with that. Being okay with the decisions you make clears the mind. As long as you've thought through it logically, and know that it is, that you'll be able to look yourself in the mirror and be okay with your actions and know where your boundaries are. So if you find yourself, you're there, you're in it, you're speaking your mind, you're doing what you feel you need to do in order to create change. Know what the boundaries are so that you don't get pulled into or sucked into something that clearly crossed the line for your own safety, for your own worthiness, for the own value that you hold within your life. What activities do not align with your own life goals moving forward? What could impact your life that you want, that you're creating for yourself going forward? What events or actions would impact that? It's logically thinking through instead of going by the emotion completely. The emotional connection to doing something in a passionate way matters, but making sure that you have a logical understanding behind that so that you're sure-footed will help you not get sucked in and cross those boundaries that you have for yourself, for your life goals. It will keep you in the transformation instead of the apocalypse, the chaotic energy. Okay? It allows yourself to be in grace, to be imbalanced for those moments instead of getting home and judging yourself. Or judging yourself when you get hauled off by the police for doing something that is not something that you normally would do. Okay? Let's talk about industries, because I get a lot of messages around industries. In industry and the growth within industry and the changes and transformations between each industry and within each industry is important from now through the next 25 to 30 years if we handle it in a higher vibrational way, in a way that actually aligns with a black belt such as myself, or industrial engineer such as myself. There is an opportunity, and I'll speak to this further in the video, to shorten the Ascension timeline drastically. But let's talk about industry changes. Industry changes and influences. Is there an opportunity, is there an opportunity? Will we see the bulk of the global industries being able to shift in a positive way, or how will the global industries shift in 2024? Really, if there's a lot of civil unrest, then people are distracted, so that's not going to bode well for industry. Okay, so industry is very much a passion-driven, action-driven. This is what they want to be in this. They want to be fully aligned with their passions for their business, and they are taking action diligently to ensure that they are moving forward. But they're going against a lot of ideas in influencing factors such as government that are limiting and making challenges and restricting their ideas in ways that they don't understand. It's confusing. There are ways around it, but it's becoming more challenging to grow the existing companies the way they wanted to go. So new inspirational ideas that are passion driven are necessary. Okay, let's talk about the government influences on industry. Will there be a shift in how industries are limited in systematic changes that are hidden? So there's a lot of passion. There's a lot of burning desire the governments have about getting a handle on the economy and wanting to shift the economies in a way that's more prosperous. They're fully in that manifestation energy and they're making the choices towards it. But are they noticing that the changes to policies, procedures, and bills that they've done in the past are building up a network of hidden limitations and restrictions to businesses in being able to grow in a new way? No. There's a buildup of documentation that is not allowing the shift in the way that the government wants in the economy. And it's essentially limiting growth in companies the way they feel. Business owners are wanting to move their companies in a more aligned way, doing collaborations more in a symbiotic energy. That's the pull of energy over the next 5 years. So we're already sitting in it. I get key expressions for growth over the next 5 years is a symbiotic competition. It's a healthier competition. You see that. You see the sports industry is a perfect example of a symbiotic competitive environment where you have two teams in a game, and you need each other to make the game happen, and it's a competitive camaraderie in helping each other grow and get better and enjoy doing what you're passionately enjoy doing. Business can get to that point too. The symbiotic competition is an energy that it's trying to birth in business, in industry overall. But it's having difficulty doing that because of there's government influences and societal influences that are stacked up energy that needs to be worked through, and the web needs to be unraveled and understood and dismantled in a way that is where you understand the network interactions, the interactions between what was intended versus what actually is, and the compilation of changes in around that, and how to dismantle it in a way that is more freeing and more empowering for industry leaders and industries overall. Knowing this, what can we do from a personal perspective to try and find balance in moments where careers may be impacted or our business may be impacted, how we can hold ourselves accountable and know that we are sure-footed as we walk forward in what we can control, how we want to be in life, how we want to react to different situations. It's free will choice on the words that we feel compelled to express, how we want to define who we are. And there's vibrational, knowing what grounds us vibrationally and helps us find our feet in moments where we feel out of balance. Routines, healthy routines will matter. Knowing what actions that we can take in order to maintain movement, healthy movement, going towards our goals in our careers, going towards our goals in our financial life, going towards our goals in our personal growth will matter. That will help create balance. That will also help with your own personal ascension, your own raising your vibrations. Okay. Now, numerology in 2024. It breaks down to 26 and 8. 8 is balance. 26 can be 14 and 12, which means there is balance within inspirational abundance. So using inspirational ideas to create abundance. It's also 3, 10, and 13. So balance is possible when we make the choice to align with passions and choose to look for happiness. I love that. It's also 3, 11, and 12. Balance is created when we choose to act upon the goals we have that we know are valued and worthy in our life. So, and you're going to talk, you've been hearing me, I started doing my videos again, my energy insights. I've been talking a lot about balance. I've been talking a lot about emotional connections to our life goals. I have a brand new life goal journal called Loving Life Goals Journal that is about to be released. I'll receive the first copy this week, and I'm pretty excited about it. And we are moving into an energy that is turning the dial. So the dial started changing definitively in March of 2022, and we started raising those vibrational changes to how we receive, how we know love within ourselves, how we express love towards others in a more pure way, as well as the light that we're willing to receive about our own life. And that light and that love, the dial towards it becomes more of a different understanding. A different understanding as to what it is, what it means to our life, and it allows us to shift our life in ways that we maybe didn't expect. It is helping us release expectations and be more open to the flow of a heart-centered way of being. Key expressions for the growth over the next 5 years. So this is important. Symbiotic competition, which I talked about before. Systematic analysis. Council for Change, and change ambassadors. Now, what I've been getting is that over the next 5 years, it is possible that there would be change ambassadors that will be brought in as a council for change, whether that, I see it more on a country by country basis, and we may see smaller countries starting to do this before larger countries. And these change ambassadors will be driven to try and highlight industry impacted issues, industry impacting issues that are interconnected and limiting the growth of industry, of every industry. So you may have change ambassadors that are industry specific, and that can be called a council for change. Sorry. There is a systematic analysis that needs to be done within the government as a start. The different levels of government, from local, state or provincial, and then like regional, and then the federal government, and then looking at how they interact, what impacts they have, and does that help the way it was intended to help, or does it actually hinder by a chain reaction? How does it impact economy at a deeper level than what it was intended for? If these are brought into realization, either within each country or from an overall global perspective, then the timeline has the potential to shift from a 25 to 30 year outlook for Ascension completion to a 10 to 15 year outlook or sooner. There is, when you are from a black belt or a process improvement perspective, you are looking at an individual company or a department, and you're looking at the interactions of people's actions and the choices that they make, and the events that are done, and how that interacts and how that creates delays and impacts and inefficiencies. From a government perspective that has direct influence over the economy and industry in general, education, medical, technology, construction, you name it, whatever industry is out there, they have a direct impact on that. It is reasonable to conclude that every time they make a change to a bill or a policy or a procedure within government or at a government event, they are impacting economy. They are impacting industry in levels that they may not have considered before signing those changes off. They may have had good intentions behind it, but do they have a definitive value of chain reaction dollar impacts because of those changes? Did they look at that? Did they consider it before they made those changes, even if it was made on a societal based decision? What impacts to industry does that have? This is where we're getting to. The changes over years have actually limited industries in a way that is feeling constrained, and needs to be looked at on a deeper level. In this is my opinion. This is my opinion based upon the energy that I've been feeling, seeing as I delve into what is happening from an economic perspective, because we need to move into more of a symbiotic competitive environment. But how can we do that? How can we have healthy collaborations between industries and within industries so that we're more efficient if there are systematic interconnections that are limiting the movement, restricting the movement? It's food for thought. It's food for thought. I have a week. We're in a waxing quarter week right now. Have you seen the video? It is an eclipse. No, it's an equinox. It's an equinox. So there's that. Lots of tips on help you get through the month. I did the month and the week. And I'm going to continue, I'll do next week, I'll continue doing the weekly insights. So I'm here helping you through this. If you need to book a session with me, I do a one-on-one session, coaching session. You don't have to buy a package. It is on an hourly basis. And I'm here to help you in that way. The energy that you are using and how you flow with it and not against it matters in helping you feel sure-footed as you move through this year. So my hope for you is that you will make the choices that are heart-centered so that you can know definitively how you want your life to feel like, how you choose to express yourself, and how you are working towards your goals in the way that matters to you. That, to me, is freedom forward. Take care, everyone. Much love.